Hello friends, today we shall study the chapter on structure of an atom. In the previous chapter, we had studied that atoms and molecules are the fundamental building blocks of matter, which means that Dalton said in his atomic theory that atom is indivisible. It means it cannot be divided further. So, atoms and molecules are the fundamental building blocks of matter. Atom is the smallest particle of any substance and is further indivisible. Do you know? Different kinds of matter exist because different kinds of atoms are present in them. This means that matter is not made of only one type of atoms, but different matters are made of different atoms. Now some questions arise here. First, how is the atom of one element different from that of another element? Second, are atoms really indivisible? Or are they divisible? Can we divide them further? We shall find the answers to all these questions in this chapter. In this chapter, we shall study the subatomic particles and the various atomic models that have been proposed to explain the structure of the atom. This means that these models will tell us about the arrangement of the subatomic particles inside the atom. In this module, we shall discuss the charged particles in matter and Thomson's model of atom. Let's start with the first topic, charged particles in matter. We shall perform an activity to understand the nature of the charged particles in matter. Comb your dry hair and then bring the comb near some small pieces of paper. Next, take a silk cloth and rub it with a glass rod. Now bring the glass rod close to an inflated balloon. What do we observe in these two cases? We observe that the comb attracts the pieces of paper and the glass rod, it attracts the balloon. Let us see the observations again. The comb attracts the small pieces of paper and the glass rod attracts the balloon. On the basis of these observations, we can conclude that when we rub two uncharged bodies with one another, both the bodies get electrically charged. Have you understood? When two uncharged bodies are rubbed together, they get electrically charged. Where does this charge come from? We can answer this question if we first note that an atom is divisible. Unlike proposed by the Dalton's atomic theory, and it consists of charged particles. These charged particles are electrons and protons, and it is because of them that uncharged bodies get charged. Now let us discuss when these charged particles were discovered. Friends, several scientists have made many contributions to find out the presence of charged particles in an atom. By the year 1900, it was believed that atom is an indivisible particle. But they used to believe that it contains at least one subatomic particle. This subatomic particle was the electron. The electron was discovered by a British physicist, J.J. Thomson. So, electron was discovered by a British physicist, J.J. Thomson in 1897. Friends, before the electron was discovered, E. Goldstein in 1886 discovered the presence of a new radiation in a gas discharge tube. He called them canal rays. These canal rays were positively charged radiations that ultimately led to the discovery of another subatomic particle. This positively charged particle is called proton. What is it called? Proton. So canal rays were positively charged radiations that ultimately led to the discovery of protons. Protons also has a charge. This charge is equal to the magnitude of charge on an electron, but its nature is opposite to that of the electron. the charge of the electron is -1 and the charge of the proton is +1. We see from both these charges that the magnitude of electron and proton are the same, that is 1. But both are oppositely charged, +1 and -1. Thus we can say that proton is equal in magnitude but opposite in charge to that of the electron. The mass of proton is approximately 2000 times more than that of the electron. Friends, an electron is represented by the symbol E- and a proton by the symbol P+. And this is because the charge of electron is -1 and that of proton is +1. The scientists of that time had seemed to know that an atom is composed of protons and electrons. And these protons and electrons mutually balance each other's charges. See this once again. At that time, it seemed that atom was composed of protons and electrons mutually balancing their charges. It also appeared that the protons existed in the interior of the atom and that the electrons could easily be removed off but not the protons. Understood? Now I hope you have understood it well. Answer this question. Who discovered protons? Absolutely correct. E. Goldstein discovered protons. Now we have understood that atoms are not indivisible and that an atom has two subatomic particles, electrons and protons. Now it is important to know how these subatomic particles, electrons and protons are arranged in atoms. Friends, many scientists try to explain this by proposing several atomic models. The first model to understand the structure of an atom was proposed by J.J. Thomson. Now let us discuss J.J. Thomson's model of an atom. Thomson's model of an atom. Thomson compared the model of an atom to a Christmas pudding. He said that the currants or dry fruits in a Christmas pudding represent the electrons and the whole pudding represents the positively charged. Thomson proposed that the model of an atom is similar to that of a Christmas pudding. The electrons in a sphere of positive charge were like currants, dry fruits, in a spherical Christmas pudding. Thomson also compared the structure of the atom to a watermelon. The red edible part in the watermelon was compared to the positive charge of the atom, and the seeds were like electrons embedded in the positively charged sphere. Let us understand it again. Atom was also compared to a watermelon. The positive charge in the atom is spread all over like the red edible part of the watermelon, while the electrons are studded in the positively charged sphere, like the seeds in the watermelon. So Thomson proposed two things. First, an atom consists of a positively charged sphere and electrons are embedded in it. What did he propose? Thomson proposed that an atom consists of a positively charged sphere and the electrons are embedded in it. Second, he proposed that the negative and positive charges are equal in magnitude. So the atom as a whole is electrically neutral. This is because the number of positive and negative charges are equal. They cancel out each other and thus the atom becomes electrically neutral. So what did he propose? Thomson proposed that the negative and positive charges are equal in magnitude. So the atom as a whole is electrically neutral. The drawback or the limitation of Thomson's model of an atom was that even though he explained that atoms are electrically neutral, he could not explain the results of the experiments of other scientists. We shall discuss the other models of an atom in the next module. So if I ask you, what is the drawback of Thomson's model of an atom? What would be your answer? Although Thomson's model explained that atoms are electrically neutral, the results of experiments carried out by other scientists could not be explained by this model. And this is the drawback of Thomson's model of an atom. Now let's revise the main points of this module. We learned that atom is further divisible. Who discovered electron? J.J. Thomson. Electron was discovered by J.J. Thomson. And who discovered proton? Proton was discovered by E. Goldstein. We also learnt that the charge on an electron is -1 and the charge on a proton is +1. And then we discussed Thomson's model of an atom. Thomson proposed the model of an atom to be similar to that of a Christmas pudding. The electrons in a sphere of positive charge were like currants, dry fruits, in a spherical Christmas pudding. Atom was also compared to a watermelon. The positive charge in the atom is spread all over like the red edible part of the watermelon, while the electrons are studied in the positively charged sphere like the seeds in the watermelon. So Thomson proposed that an atom consists of a positively charged sphere and the electrons are embedded in it. The negative and positive charges are equal in magnitude, so the atom as a whole is electrically neutral. Now, what was the drawback of Thomson's model of an atom? Drawback of Thomson's model of an atom was, although Thomson's model explained that atoms are electrically neutral, the results of experiments carried out by other scientists could not be explained by this model. Now friends, it contains one electron and one proton. Will it carry any charge or not? Have you understood the question? I repeat, if an atom contains one electron and one proton, will it carry any charge or not? What would be your answer? No, the atom will not carry any charge. It will be electrically neutral, as the electron is negatively charged, whereas proton is positively charged. This is equal, that is 1. So they both cancel each other's charges. Now let us solve the exercises based on this module. And do remember to write the answers of all questions in your notebook. Exercises